Good evening, ladies. We're going to wait for a few other people to show up for the course class session. I did post a link for a survey. It's just some questions that I'm curious if everybody is able to get they have the information. If you'd fill that out, that would be most helpful to me. The only thing else I have to ask is, Anna, did you try that link again to see if you could get into the labs?
I couldn't get into the lab.
Okay, and you are going through Canvas course, right?
So what is it?
When you go into your course in Canvas, let me show my screen here.
Okay.
Give me just 1 second here.
Yes.
Um, let's see here, right here. So can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. So when you come in here, your screen is going to look a little bit different because obviously you're not the instructor. Just let me move this for a second here. I'm going to put it as view as student so you can see what you would normally see. You're going to scroll down here, and right here would be where your labs would be. You would click on this lab.
Yes. And then when I click on it, it'll have a little thing here just like that to pull it up. When I
You
hit it to pull it up, it says
get this?
something. It does that. Yes.
Okay. Let me reach
Yes.
out to Dr. Aboiji to see if we can get that fixed for you. So that was one of my questions. I don't know if I added it into the survey that I wanted to ask. Can you get to this? Not this page, obviously. This is not the page that you want. You want to have a different one. So I will show you what you should be seeing once you do get in there. Because my screen is going to look a little bit different than yours.
Mine is doing exactly what we just seen. I tried it
Okay.
numerous times and it won't let me on.
That's what I was afraid of. Okay. I will definitely get that fixed for you. Okay.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
not a problem. And we are going to be going through the first two labs together tonight as well. But um, yeah, I didn't want to send multiple emails on this. I wanted to send all at once if there was an issue. Because I do see that two students were able to get into the labs. And that's fine if you hadn't even tried. So, but you did and you didn't message, so I appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay. Oh, and it was Miss Miles that was wondering that she was probably going to be late, but she's on time. Yay.
Yes, I made it.
Yeah.
I started this new job, so I work on my school schedule.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was coming or not. The traffic was really bad coming up.
Yeah, no, I get it. I can work with that a little bit as long as it's not being abusive on the time. Okay.
Yeah, it, I should be on time, but as I said, you never know with traffic, wreck, whatever. But
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
not a
I work
problem.
for Kroger Pharmacy,
Mm-hmm.
the warehouse.
Yeah.
So,
No, okay, that's not a problem. But I do appreciate you emailing me and letting me know your concerns.
yeah, I was letting everybody know. I even let my advisor know. I said, hey, I made
Yeah, because like I said, I do reach out to Dr. Boise for a lot of my answers, because I am relatively new here at American National, not new to teaching, nor the proficiency labs, just for this university. Um, and so he told me to always reach out to him first, but I'm like going, she says has two classes. And he's like,
Oh yeah, that was common. That I could. I'm like, what is going on with these classes? I can't do two classes.
all right.
My
Oh,
schedule's
not a
all messed
problem.
up.
Okay, so I gotta get back to you guys again. I have multiple screens open here, so. All right. Jasmine has entered. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. I have about a few more students still waiting for There is a link that is to a survey, Jasmine, that's in the chat. If you could fill that out, I am going to actually get that shared also into the classroom so you guys can see. And I did grade your first lab, Jasmine, although we were going to go over it together in class. That's fine. The second one, I did not, just because I want to discuss a few things with the class as well as explain to you, okay?
Okay.
So,
Sorry, I did it early.
oh, no, no, you're fine. This is what these classes are for. We're going to go through the labs together, and I am going to model the lab. I do see you started a third one, but then did not um, get anything else completed except for the 2 portions. So at least you understand the format. That's awesome.
Okay.
I always love it when they do that. So, and like I said, it's not required to do that. So this is what the survey is. The first one is, have you posted your introduction and replied to another student's post? That is so you can get your 10 points for discussions. Okay. And then we're only doing the first chapter this week. Did you receive your lab kit? And I'm hoping you have it up high if you have children or animals, so they're not getting into it. And then this is just a reminder of the class time. It is mandatory, and it's 40% of the grade with the in-class assignment. And I'll show you that in-class assignment if you have not found it yet. I did see some people. I think one student got it done. I'm not sure, maybe more. And then I understand these classes are being recorded and will be available on my YouTube channel for the instructor portion of this. And I got to get that link for you guys. That is the one thing I did not do. So let me go here. Copy that. There's so much stuff that we share within these classes. So it is just, I want to make sure that you guys got it all. Where did it go? Why isn't it? Oh, is it? Okay. I'm not sharing my screen anymore. You're seeing my face. There you go. There's a YouTube channel link. You might want to just save that somewhere where you have it nice and safe. So if by chance you are getting into the labs portion and there's 2 portions, and I'll explain that as well as more people get in here. The science interactive labs that you get through your course, like I was showing Anna, which you obviously know how to do. You have that's your book work. And then you're going to do a video if there is a lab experimentation. The first 2 labs do not have that, so you're fine. What I have to have both to be able to grade, though. And they both have to be completed. Okay. We are actually going to start since it is a little after 7, and I am just going to make a note of who is here so that I know. Andrea, and then I have to have Jasmine's name here. Okay. Stop sharing that. So, like I was stating, in that survey, that I sent out, it is that information I just need. It would be nice to know, did you get your lab kit? And it is safe. We do not use it for the first 2 labs. What I do want to show you though is you do need to be in your Canvas course for your able to access your labs. When you go in here, you're going to scroll down to the lab kit inventory. If you have a QR code scanner on your phone, you could always scan that QR code that's within your box. It's on the lid and the inside. Does this even tell you? Oh, it does actually. Nice. And why haven't you seen this? Excuse me while I figure this out. Oh, here we go. So you will have this screen once you get into the labs. I only have, well, I actually have more than one here, but we know what the issue with you, and I have to check with Dr. Oboji for that. You will have on your modules. Let me try this again. I'm so sorry. You're going to have this where you have to open it up in a new window, and it is going to provide you with a list of items that should be in your kit. If there is something missing, you want to make sure you reach out to myself first. Maybe I can give you an alternative item to use. But if it's something that's broken and absolutely is in need, we will need to contact Science Interactive. And I will give that information on an as needed basis. Okay. The other thing is when, like I said, when you come in here, you're going to always want to go to the modules and then scroll down. And I don't understand why this is not sharing. I'm going to see if I can do it this way. Okay. Here we go. There we go. You are probably seeing my screen and thinking I'm crazy because I'm not seeing it. When you scroll down on here, you're going to see the items. If you click on this week 1, chapter 1, pre-in-class assignment, there is an assignment that you're going to do. And I will let you guys have some time to do it. There's a content, there's a video, and then eventually there is a quiz that you need to do. When I did check, I do see that Anna and then Martha did it already. So that's great. Anna, you're good. But that is what there'll always be a in-class assignment that you'll need to do and have it done. I am here to answer general questions. I will not answer a question that is on the assessment if there is an assessment. Now, there is a quiz on this one. But if you notice here, it says attempts allowed unlimited. All right. So when we go back to modules, we're going to scroll down and I already have it open. So I am just going to come over here. And that is what we got last time when we tried to do something silly. You will not have this. You'll just have the labs to click into. It'll open up as the lab for you. I have to go in this way to get into the lab. So in getting started, once you're in there, there is going to be an exploration, and it's going to look like this. It's going to have 3 screens, okay? 3 tabs, I mean. I can't talk. And you are going to want to make sure that you scroll down, and you're going to see test your knowledge. All right. You do have to do the test your knowledge in the beginning of exploration and at the end of exploration. For this next tab to unlock. Okay. So when we come in here and we do this test your knowledge, and like I said, I'm not going to go over because it's like a mini assessment. We want to know where you are before you do the lab and when you're done. You are going to have lessons here. It's going to go here and explain to you what each tab is going to be. It is going to provide you with this video. It's very short. Very important. Which you do not have to do. So when you click into it, it's going to provide you with an agreement to check, and then you're going to be entered into the grade book and have access to the labs. And I do believe getting started in lab safety are the first two that you do need to do before any other labs within this course will unlock. Okay. It'll also walk you through the steps for data tables as well as taking a picture, which are required to be uploaded and answered. The questions do need to be answered. The pictures do need to be uploaded. Otherwise, it gets a 0. You do need to have a passing score of, I believe, 70% or higher for your labs overall as an average. So if you do score low on one, you or two, you might be able to rebound from that, okay? But we always want to try to do our best. Do not need to send that. Once you start the evaluation, all tabs will be locked.
It just let me in it now, so I'm
Oh.
able to get in it now. I just tried it. I just wanted to let you know.
Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you, Anna.
No, thank you.
Okay. So you can follow along if you'd like. If you do have an error, or any like inability to move forward, just reach out. I've been working with Science Interactive Proficiency Labs for several years now. So I am pretty much well versed on what the issues are. But like I said, make sure you're in the correct browser, because that's going to be very important. All right. And this is going to continue for just a little bit longer. Let's see. Okay. Honestly, I've always had difficulty getting a hold of Science Interactive. So if you, like I said, just reach out to me first to see if I can. Oh, that's fine, Jasmine. Thank you for letting me know. All right, so then you'll also see that there is a student help site here, that's going to provide you a lot of information as well, and some helpful guides using the SI cloud. So when you hit next there, after you've gone through all that, you will then have the lesson. So explore the sections of the lesson. So exploration introduces the topics that are applicable to the experimentation section. So this is going to contain your content, your videos, any interactive elements, and maybe some questions to check your knowledge, right? it tests your knowledge prior to the lesson to see where you stand, and then it tests again at the end of the lessons to see what you learned. Like I said, it has to be completed, or experimentation will not, I mean, both parts of the test your knowledge portion or experimentation will not unlock. We are going to have some digital lab activities that demonstrate the concepts introduced in the exploration section. So I always say read the procedures in the section thoroughly so you are able to complete your work properly. You're going to have data tables. You're going to record numeric and text in the data tables and text panels. You are going to upload any photographs that are required. You'll see that for the photo panels, and we'll talk about that in a second. Screenshots of graphs. I have yet to see this actually in the pharmacy technician proficiency lab, so I usually skip over that, but we're going to mention that just in case it is there and I'm wrong, because it can change things on me and I don't know. It's been a couple months since I've worked in it, but now I'm back again. So, and then you're going to answer their exercise questions. Make sure you check every single page to make sure that all questions are answered. Once you are done with the experimentation, then your evaluation will unlock. Once you begin the evaluation, and don't get scared on that, it will lock the lesson tabs and the experimentation. You will not be able to go backwards. There are going to be multiple choice questions. I don't remember exactly. I think it's like 10 and 12. 10 in the getting started and 12 in lab safety. Lab safety is a little bit longer. And then there's going to be, those are multiple choice. And then there's going to be a last question that is actually going to be one that you'll have to type your answer in. And I think getting started, the question is, what is going to be your biggest struggle? And a lot of people always told me that it's going to be the, just making sure that I get my assignments done, or it's the math. And I am here to assist and help you, learn that. So reach out. We can always meet. I have open hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 5 p.m. I do understand that that might not work well with your work hours, because that's Eastern Standard Time. We can always manage to make an appointment at another time. So just reach out if that is the case. And then you're going to submit your information, right? So we took care of this purchasing your lab kit for you. And I'm hoping that everybody has received their lab kit yet. Anyone has not, please let me know. So I can reach out to, I don't remember who the lady is, but I'll reach out to her to find out what's going on. So you're going to unpack your kit. Now, I don't necessarily recommend unpacking your kit unless you're checking to make sure that everything is there and in one piece. Because if you have small children or animals, I did see a lot of people with grandchildren, and that they're curious, right? They see grandma or mom or whoever working on something and they want to do it. I had actually a guy that he walked away from his computer for a moment. Thankfully, it was only in the test your knowledge section, but his son decided to do his dad's work. And he wanted to know if I could get that reset. Because at that school, it was possible to reset certain things except for that particular section. So I always say don't worry about your test your knowledge scores, because you're going to make it up in the experimentation as well as your evaluation. So once you have all that, like I said, for now, you can put it up a little high so that they are not getting into it. There is a QR code here. And I have, let me see here. Let me find it. BOM. I have a link to what is in the Science Interactive Kit. I can send this out to you guys as well if you'd like. And it just provides you with all the items that should be in there. So if any of these items are missing, we are going to then reach out and ask me if there is something that you can substitute it for, or do we need to contact Science Interactive? So I have that as well. Student supplied materials. Now, a lot of people like worry about. So in here, it will say that you're going to have distilled water. Regular water is fine. We are not using any aluminum pans, fresh flowers, or rubber bands in any of our experiments. But you will have like baking powder or oh, I don't remember all of them. But there's going to be certain items that you're going to do. There is one particular lab that requires juice to be used with one of the other items that's in the kit. I always say, don't use juice, use water. It's fine because juice is more expensive than water, okay? So when you get in there, you're going to go through your question time, right? So once you do that, it's going to do their test your knowledge again. And once you finish that, it's going to flip you over to experimentation overview. These are estimates of time, okay? Any questions so far since I've been throwing a lot of information at you? Okay. I'm not seeing anybody. And it's going to allow you to it's going to give you the student supplied information and then give you how to do this, right? To put the information into the data tables. Pen or pencil, sheet of paper, really simple for the first one. Okay. It's going to ask you to open up this window, and it's going to ask you what was mentioned in the lesson that you would need, like the, distilled water, the flowers and so forth, rubber bands. That is going to be what you would need to answer for that, because that is the reason why we would have that. But typically it's going to be whatever the experiment is, and you will need to show your math if there is any kind of math. You'll have to take a picture of it. So then we have the next tab, which is recording data and answers. When you get to this page, a lot of people go, well, I don't see no data table here, Mrs. Huey. What's going on? So you see this green button down here, it says data. You are going to click on that. It's going to populate up your data tables. And you're going to click into the data table, and not this information, but you're going to put in your city, your state, the time it is at the time you're doing the lab in your place of residence, and then you're going to type in a search engine, what time is it in Fiji, and you're going to put that there. Okay, real simple. And then it's going to ask you to fill this out. What is the chemical name of water? They want the formula. H20 H2, yeah, O, excuse me, and then hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. And if you scroll all the way down here, it says there's a question here. I think there's a question in the previous one. I'm going to go back for just a second. This one here? No. Okay, good. That's why I said you really want to scroll through this. So it's going to say, do you feel confident in your ability to add data in the panels? Yes, I'm comfortable. No, I am not. I'm probably going to reach out to you if I say no, I am not comfortable, just because I want to make sure that you are. Okay. But here is a photo that's going to be required in the experimentation. You're going to take on a sheet of paper, you're going to write your first and last name, and you're going to put the date. And you're going to take a picture of it. You're going to upload it, save it to your computer, email it to you. Sometimes I can email a picture from my phone. It's just easier that way. And then I will save it to my computer, upload this. Once it is uploaded in Science Interactive, you can then delete it from any kind of storage that you have. So you don't have to have like this really silly thing here. Here's exercise 1. I just want to, yeah, so see here. Experiment 1, there is a panel. It does ask you questions. See, I thought so. list all the student supplied materials. So at this point, you could go back and I could go here and find that answer in one of the lessons, right? Once you are done with the experiment and you filled out all the questions and did all the data tables and you did all the photos if needed, you're going to then click on next. It's going to take you to evaluation here. Like I said, it's going to ask you, did you complete all the required exercises and assessments? If not, please go backwards and finish it. Um, are you confident that you achieved all the learning objectives? If not, you can go back and review that information. And then you're going to, these were the learning objectives. So you're understanding the navigation of Science Interactive. You're going to explain the three sections of the lab. You'll be able to describe the interactive resources, compiling a list of materials that you might need, and then practicing how to report data and answering the questions. And then you're going to click on this button here, and it's going to start the evaluation. There's going to be those multiple choice questions, and then there's going to be what I call a free text question where you're going to have to type out your answer. Then you're going to submit your data. If a pop-up does come up and say something is missing, I had somebody state to me a while back that they had like 61 items missing out of the assignment of the lab. You're going to want to go backwards, check, and make sure that it automatically saved, okay? And I'm hoping you got that. Because that's important, because once you get to hitting that submit button, then it goes into the grade book. So I'm just going to click on her because she doesn't have anything in here. And then I'm going to see that it's ready to be graded. It'll be a green color. And then I would be able to go in here and grade. And then I can go back to the course and go into the grade book and take care of it. If it has a video that is required in that lab, like I said, you're going to upload it to that YouTube channel. Now, the easiest way for you, this is how we're going to do that. You are going to do your book work in Science Interactive, and then if it's a video that is required, and I don't think let me just double check this here. We have, I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. I want to go into the grade book, and I don't want to show anybody's grades. Because I have started grading. I like to grade as the week progresses and not wait till the end of the week. So you have a good idea of where you're at, okay? This week we have getting started and lab safety. And with lab safety, it's a little bit different. And that's where I did check to see if you had that done, Jasmine, and it had initials that needed to be placed in there, but I can definitely work with that with you. So when we come down here, we're going to see we have, oh, you can't see this now. So we have getting started in lab safety. Then you have inventory management. There is a video for that. So after this week, you will have videos of any labs that we are doing. And it's very important that unless you really feel very comfortable with that lab, not to work necessarily ahead, just because we will be going through it in class, and I'd rather set you up for success, and not have any issues, okay? And especially when we get to like measurement systems and so forth, that is going to be one that we're going to want to work together with. And I have Jessica here. Great. All right, Jessica, I shared 2 items in the chat. There's a survey just asking a few questions, as well as the YouTube channel that you'll find the recorded course class times in the sessions will be there as well. Are you able to get into your labs? Okay, perfect. And you got your lab kit too, right? All right, that's 2 things I just wanted to double check. Thank you. once you get done with getting started, you're going to go back to your Canvas course. Let me go back and share because I'm not sharing. I know I'm not. Um, going to go back to the course and you're going to go to the next lab. You don't ever try to navigate from the science cloud, the science interactive cloud, when you're going in there. So the next item is this lab safety acknowledgement. Now, to get to the lab safety acknowledgement contract, you still have to go through the whole lab. Okay. And for me to be able to go in there and check, you need to finish the evaluation as well. So it's a catch-22. What we're looking for is that you're coming in here and you're going into, well, I have to go into the lessons. You're just going to have the lab's going to open up for you. We are going to go click on exploration again, test your knowledge. Then the lessons will unlock. These are estimates of time. And then it's going to have all this information. It has lab safety. We will, here's a video about lab safety, about the proper ways that we would do that. All right. And these are pretty safe. We still need to follow what the instructions do state. And again, like I said, here's your student help guides if you need them. There are latex gloves, I believe, in the kit that you're going to want to make sure that are you seeing the lab? Somebody, anyone? Oh, you are good. I do recommend that you find an area that you can do these where no one is interrupting you. Not that there'll be a reaction, but it's just so that keep things separated from everyone else. And like I said, these lessons, there's 12 of them for lab safety. It's going to walk you through better better practice. Once you get into the pharmacy, if you were to do a non-sterile or sterile compounding medication. There's going to be always the hand washing aspect of any work in the pharmacy at any job actually. I don't believe I worked at any position in my life that you're not required to wash your hands many times throughout your shift. Do not dispose of your lab kit at the end of this course. You are going to hold on to it for the next lab course that you will eventually get into, and you'll probably see my lovely face again, although I'm sure my face is not that lovely, but um and there's giving you the proper way to do the gloves, which if you so I noticed some of you are certified nursing assistants and other areas as well that you are well aware of the glove. do not call Science Interactive customer service. You're going to contact me on this, all right? If you have any questions on the procedures. And the reason why I say that is because they are not going to help you with it. And it's just a waste of time to get on the phone to call. The next one is exploring the laboratory kit items. So as you perform these lab exercises, excuse me, you're going to want to follow the procedures and instructions for cleanup and storage. They do contain potential hazards. So they can be dangerous to children and pets. And that's why I always say make sure you do the experiments away from them and you safely store it out of their reach. I had very curious children when they were children. They're now all adults. And I could still see them trying to sneak in here into my kit to play with things. And they're all in their mid-20s. Your lab kit may contain chemicals and materials that can cause burns if mishandled and serious illness and or death if consumed. This I think is mainly just because they have to put it in here. I have not yet seen anything. I have not really examined my kit yet. Right from this school. So, your lab kit may contain small items and materials that could cause choking, injury, or death. Yes, that is possible. There are items in there that could create that issue. And the last thing you want to have to do is call 911 for emergency services. And then many items are made of glass and or have sharp edges that pose potential risks for cuts and scratches. The items that I can see that possibly, I believe there's a mortar and pestle in your kit, and there is syringes, for one of the labs that we are actually doing this time around. And you can see it right here. There's syringes right here that might create an issue. There's this little oral syringe bottle adapter that is a swallowing hazard. These rest of these items are plastic and they will crack if roughed house with. You see the mortar and pestle there. There are little pills in your kit as well, and you really don't want them consuming that or powder. So make sure that, like I said, make sure these items are not anywhere near where a student, not a student, a child could get to. This is not the lab I want. This one is. So then you're going to have a question time. You're going to have your laboratory kit may contain small items that can be choking hazards, chemicals that can cause burns, sharp objects that can cause cuts, or all the above. You are going to then
All about.
very good. Thank you. It's not going to let me answer because it's in the instructor mode. And if I were to flip over, I think to the student view, it would probably arrow out on me. It doesn't like it necessarily. Maybe not. Nope. It says, okay, perfect. It's still not going to let me answer though. Then you're going to have explore personal safety precautions. Okay. So after reviewing the procedures, you want to think carefully about what precautions you would need to take to do the experiment safely. So like I said, the first two labs that we're doing, we don't have any experiments in there. There is no video required. But when you get to the ones like repackaging, which is with the syringes, and measurement systems, which is with a cherry syrup and either juice or water, there is going to be that issue, right? So you're going to want to make sure that you have those precautions. You know, you don't leave it unattended like a phone call or you have to run out to do an errand really quick. You're going to want to make sure everything is put away safe and sound before you do so. Safety goggles should be worn, and you should have safety goggles in your kit. They will provide protection against any spills and splashes as well as projected objects or debris. Please do not eat, drink, or smoke when you're doing your labs. you want to try to do proper procedures as if you were in the pharmacy working. Your hair, if it's long, should be tied back. And you know what? It is summertime. I don't know what it's like in your area, but it's like 90 some degrees here in Michigan. Just as long as you're careful. Although their clothing should fully cover the arms and legs and closed-toe shoes. Just make sure that the arms are, so because that's going to be in your video, most likely. I'm not going to see your legs. Work areas should be kept clean and tidy at all times. Only the items that should be out should be your instructions, well, which is on the computer, any worksheets. Inventory management is one that does have some worksheets that should be in a huge, not a huge, but a big envelope, white envelope in your lab kit. And then other materials should be stored in the other area. So it's hard sometimes to keep kids. They want to do homework around you because they want to interact, but if they could be at a separate table or something, that would be better. Work safe surfaces should be solid and non-porous, heat tolerant. We're not doing anything with heat. Don't use plastic, wood, or glass surfaces just to protect your wood and your glass. They should be well ventilated. A lot of people have done it in a spare, like, bedroom, maybe an office, kitchen. Just as long as no food is around there, it'll be fine. Proper hand washing technique should be used in before and after each exercise. I am sure that I'm going to have to watch all of you wash your hands a couple times, or at least once in a lab. And we all know that just, I mean, it's good hygiene and it's going to keep everything not contaminated. So, all right. So hopefully you're not pregnant, although, like I said, quite not sure that I don't really believe that there is anything, but I would always consult a physician. Allergic to certain chemicals, these are placebos, or immunocompromised. Okay, so I am, and I have handled this. As long as you are being safe and you're using the gloves, nothing, I'm not going to say nothing should, but your risks go down, right? And then caution should be practiced when performing experiments that require any physical activity. I don't know if we have any physical activity. Step 1, wet hands, apply soap, create a lather, continue for at least 20 seconds. I always did it for 30 seconds, but I guess now they're saying 20 is fine. Rinse your soapy hands and dry with a clean towel. Make sure that your clean towel is already separated because you could contaminate by touching something else accidentally, okay? So then you got another question time. Eating, drinking, or smoking during an experiment is never allowed. True. We don't want to do any of that. Um, okay, so Heather, can you give me a quick thumbs up if you have your lab kit and you're able to access the labs? And I do need your camera on.
Can you see me now?
No, I cannot.
Hold on. I got a new thing, but I have everything that you need.
Okay, all right. Try to figure out.
I had to go buy a new tablet. That's all.
Oh, that's okay, not a problem. I just it is a requirement to have a camera on so
Yeah,
that
Hunter, come turn this camera on for me so she can see me real quick.
You
Turn the
just
camera.
caught me checking to see if anyone else popped in.
Can you see me now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So I really hate to be a bugger about that, but
No, you okay? I didn't mind. I had to go get a new tablet because I lost my computer on the bus a couple of months ago.
oh dear. Okay. I just, if my boss pops in, I need to make sure that we're all being compliant here. So
You're fine, no problem.
okay.
I got my lab kit. I know how to do the everything
Okay.
with the goggles, with the glove. I got to do all that.
And do you know where to find the in-class assignment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. All right, let me go back to this then. We then are going over the proper lab attire and PPE. I don't think I saw one person that did not mention that they worked in healthcare already. If I
I
am,
do.
okay, yeah. If I am wrong, please correct me, but I think that you all pretty much have some healthcare experience, so you do know that safety goggles, gloves, a lab coat or apron, so that is your pretty much your plastic thing that's going to go over your body, right? And then
Correct.
making sure that you're properly dressed.
Right.
And like I said, it's summertime, so if you are, have maybe a somewhat, I'm a short sleeve kind of deal, I'm not going to be too picky about that in your video, but just realize that in a pharmacy that they might require that whole to be completely
Okay.
covered. So, there is also, since I just saw it, there is a survey link as well as where you're going to upload your video, and I'll explain that again in a minute because I think somebody else had just joined that I probably did not explain that completely. The Science Interactive that we're going through right now is your book work. And then when there is a lab that you're going to be required to do a video, you will make a Gmail account because you have to have a Gmail account. If you do already, that's great. Excuse me. So you can make a YouTube channel. What you're going to do is you're going to take a video on your camera, whatever, however you do a video, right? And you're going to upload it to that YouTube channel. You're going to share that link to me there is a, when you click onto the lab thing, you'll be able to submit a link, and I will show you that as well. And that way I can then fully grade. If one is missing, I can't grade them. So if there's not completely done, the questions aren't answered, the data tables are not filled out, and the pictures are not uploaded in the Science Interactive, which is the bookwork, and or the video is not given to me to view your lab, then I can't grade. I can't finalize the grade. Okay. The next tab is going to go over guidelines of home lab spaces. We just want to keep it in an uncluttered room, away from children and pets. Like I said, when the lab kit is not in use, you're going to want to store it somewhere where they cannot reach it. You will hold on to this lab kit until the next lab course because not all labs are being done this particular this course. So do not, let me say this again, do not dispose of this lab kit after this course ends. Put it up high and wait for the next lab course. These are expensive kits. They're like, if I remember correctly from my previous position, they're like $250. And they are part of your tuition. The first one. Okay. After that, we have an issue. So, your experiment requires an extended period of time to be completed. Make sure it is safe place away from others in your home. Located in a well-ventilated area. Typically, that's your kitchen. It has a window. If your office has you have a home office and it has a window, that's fine too. Or a spare bedroom that has a window that you have a table in there. Do not do it on a bed, please. I might say something. Located near a source of running water. That's why I always say kitchen is good, right? Um, Solid, non-porous, heat-tolerant surface, um, and has access to safety equipment if by chance there is a fire. Not that there should be, but if there is, you want to have a fire extinguisher. If you do not have one in your home, do not go out and purchase one. Um, Although I hope you have one in your home. But I try not to have anyone necessarily purchase anything for the home because I understand times are tough right now, right? So I will try to provide you with an alternative. There's different, everybody knows pretty much how to put out a small fire, but if it's a bigger fire, we're going to have an issue. And there shouldn't be one doing these labs because we are not dealing with fire. First aid kit. It's obviously a kit that has basic items in there like band-aids, maybe gauze, alcohol wipes, and so forth. Eye wash station. No one has an eye wash station in their house unless they have a lab in there. A sink will do. And I don't know if you can see me, but you're going to like scoop up the water and rinse out. And a safety shower, you're just going to step into your shower fully clothed if you needed to. At least 20 minutes. Okay. So then we're going to go here, question time. It's going to be at home. A blank is the best substitute for a laboratory safety shower. And I'm looking at it. Oh, I see some safety shower. It's going to be your bathroom shower, like I stated. I'm just making sure that I'm providing you with the correct items. You're going to hit submit. We got safety data sheets. These are very important. You should be able, at the end of this, at least know where to look for information. And let me say, the lab that it's actually in here, the experimentation, is very time consuming. It asks you to find information and type it in. But that's not what I'm looking for. Okay? And I will get to what I'm looking for, but we're going to go through how to. There is find it on their website. So we're going to look here. We're going to look what were you I'm trying to remember which one is. I think it's hydro something. So we're just going to pick the first one. We're going to put here. It's going to load up what it is. So it's going to be the identification, hazards, and how would we prevent, respond, storage, or dispose of it, right? So that is just very important that we are understanding where to look for in here. Requesting more information from your instructor. One, I'm going to tell you to go search for the SDS. Two, because I really don't know, unless I'm looking in a safety data sheet. I'm going to tell you to follow your normal procedures as if, let's say, somebody were to take something that they weren't supposed to, right? You're going to call that 800 number. Poison control, or there's other ones as well. So this contains information about first aid procedures, required protective equipment, and health effects. True, false? True. It's going to provide you with all the information that you will need to properly respond to what situation it is. Chemical handling hazards. All right, so we're at the 7:53 mark. I actually talked for 3 minutes too fast. We're going to take a 10-minute break, step away, get a drink of water, stretch your legs, go to the bathroom if you need to, and we'll be back at 8:03, okay? And yes, you can go off camera. All right, we should be back on camera. All right, so we're going to go through the next portion. We're going to explore chemical handling hazards, and this diamond is something that you should be familiar with. It's going to tell you that this is fire up here. It's going to provide you different flash points. So below 73 degrees Fahrenheit will be 4, and below 100 is 3, 2 would be 100 to 200, and flash point above 200 is 1, and 0, it will not burn. All right, and then we have the yellow, which is reactivity. 4 may detonate, which of course we don't want. 3, shock and heat sensitive. 2, violent, which is a chemical change. 1, unstable if heated, and then 0, it is stable. Blue is a health hazard. 4 is deadly. 3 is extreme danger. 2 is hazardous. 1 is slightly hazardous, and 0 is normal material. You will find that this will be mainly, especially dealing with handling. And then you have the white diamond, which it's going to show you the word acid. Obviously, it's acid. ALK for alkali, COR for corrosive, OXY for oxidizer. The it looks like 3 drops, radioactive. W, use no water, and blank, there is no special hazard. All right. And then there's also pictograms. I'm so sorry. For some reason, that word just got me tonight. And it's going to provide you with common pictures that you might see. The first one is a health hazard, flame, exclamation point, remark, gas cylinder, corrosion, exploding bomb, flame over circle, environment, and skull and crossbones. We should be aware as well what those pictograms depict. Next page would go through explore preparing for fires and fumes. So we have no labs, to my knowledge, that uses any burner fuel or a fire thing. This is good to know in case you're in a situation where you're in the pharmacy and that is an issue. So then you're going to never leave any burners that are lit or fuel canisters unattended. Never leave anything that is being heated or is visibly reacting. I always remember back to the day that I had a friend that used chlorine, bleach, and ammonia together, and we had a chemical reaction, which was not a pleasant smell. You always want to extinguish any burner fuel canisters and turn burners or hot plates off when not in use. Heated metals and glass remain very hot for a very long time. They should be set aside to cool and then handled with caution. Please use tongs or heat protective gloves if necessary. So, in the case of a fire, you're going to want to use a fire extinguisher, a fire blanket, and or safety shower. You never want to leave an open flame. And this just goes on with other things that you know. The reason why they want your arms covered in clothing and your legs covered is so that your skin is protected if by chance it's the first thing that catches on fire is going to be your clothing, and it's easier to just pat that or soak it in a safety shower to douse the fire. Okay. Also you can hopefully easily remove it or pat it off. A fire extinguisher, we all know, is a device to control small fires. Um, They all will always be in a laboratory. They will always be in a pharmacy. You should familiarize yourself with how to use one. And then there's a fire blanket. That is something relatively more common now. It's a tightly woven fabric used to smother and extinguish a fire. Now, if that fire were to get higher and uncontrollable, and you're gonna like leave, okay? You're going to call 911. You're gonna be safe. You're not gonna try to take care of it on your own. So fumes, we never want to inhale directly. And as we saw here, this is going to show you how to waft correctly or waft. And please don't do that. They've also been known to create a burning sensation, which is not pleasant. To test the smell of a substance, partially fill your lungs with air, and while standing slightly back from the fumes, use your hands to wrap the odors gently towards your nose. And you're going to answer. Explore responding to spills and broken glass. Avoid acid splatter. Always add acid to a container of water rather than adding water to the container of acid. That's very important to know, and that is going to be one of your questions. Neutralize acid spills with sodium bicarbonate or baking soda. If your skin comes in contact with any chemicals, flush that exposed skin with a gentle flow of water for several minutes at a sink or shower. If your eyes come into contact with chemicals, use the eye wash station or a compatible substitute. And like I said, that's just going to be like the spooning your eyes with waters and trying to flush it out. In case of a spill, use sand or other absorbent materials such as cat litter to control it. Cat litter works wonders. You will not have cat litter necessarily in a pharmacy unless somebody goes running into the aisles to get it. You'll have something back there that is appropriate. Yes, we are dealing with small quantities of chemicals. So most, if you do a spill, will be able to be cleaned up with paper towels and tap water. Like I said, none of this is truly something that you would find in a compounding pharmacy. Glassware, you want to examine it before use. You don't want to use chipped or cracked glassware. You never want to use dirty glassware because that's going to contaminate. You want to avoid shattering glassware. You do not want to force that object into a glass container or try to make them fit. I always think of my child with the circle peg that is trying to put it into like the triangle. It does not fit. You can't do it. And read all the procedures carefully when handling glassware. I don't think we have any glassware. The only thing that falls into this category a little bit of glassware is the pestle and mortar. Treat all cuts or scrapes with the appropriate first aid. If you have a cut or a scrape, use the gloves. Or make sure that it's bandaged in a way that something can't get into it. Not that I think anything would interact. I just want you to be safe. And never handle broken glass with your bare hands. Instead, use a brush and a dustpan to pick it up. And then place it in a broken or waste glassware in a waste bin out of reach of children and pets. Next one. And we are getting there. I know this is a long lesson. Explore use, cleaning, and disposal instructions. So we need to make sure our space is cleaned properly each and every time after using it. And that goes to say for even if it's a home laboratory, you're using your kitchen or somewhere else in your home, or if you're in the pharmacy. You want to make sure that you do not return chemicals to their containers after they have been dispensed. So, speaking of, let's say, okay, because we are doing measurement systems and repackaging this course, those are two of them that I can think off the top of my head. You would not put the item back into the container that you used to experiment when you did the measuring of the medication, either in the syringe or the medicine bottle, okay? Um, because it could create an issue. So like I said, I always think of the Clorox, bleach, and um, ammonia. It creates a huge mess. Examine your glassware and labware before every experiment. That's going to be in the pharmacy. You're going to be consistently doing a check off on a checklist to make sure that everything is in proper working condition. If something is not, then you're going to make note of it. You're going to follow a procedure and notify who you would need to notify. Cleaning instructions using a soft cloth or test tube cleaning brush. Mild dishwashing detergent and warm water. Most of the labs that we do an experiment, if we are putting the materials in another container, I don't believe we do. Let me look into that. I don't believe, like, measurement systems, I do know, and repackaging, we're not going to reuse those liquid materials. But there might be a couple of the drier ingredient ones that we would. So you're going to return all clean, dry equipment to your kit for future use. So you're going to, after each lab, if you do use something, let's say you use a graduated cylinder, or you use the mortar and the pestle, you're going to want to wash those with water and a mild dishwasher detergent to make sure that you can get that clean and dried using a soft cloth. Disposal, okay, contact your local waste management agency. No. Um, in the pharmacy, yes, you would follow the procedures and policies in place. They would have the correct disposal directions. With these, if it is an item that we are discarding, and I will let you know as we do each lab, if it's something that you can discard after that lab, it will be able to be thrown away in your garbage. But I want to make sure that we are under the understanding that if your garbage is getting full, that you are removing it from your home so that nobody goes into the garbage. Because sometimes, if you drop something in the garbage and you're looking through the garbage, I don't want somebody touching something and then getting freaked. Properly removing your gloves. First, remove one glove by pulling at the fingers until the glove is removed. You're going to hold that removed glove in the still gloved hand and then reach under the base of the second glove and pull that glove off, turning it inside out as you remove it so that it fully encloses that first glove, and then put them in the trash. I would wash your hands afterwards. Even though if you do it properly, you should still be washing your hands, and then wrapping any non-chemical experiment items in newspaper or paper towels and dispose of them in the household garbage after the completion of the course. Again, you're not disposing of any of the lab kit completely. until the second portion of the lab course. You're going to hold on to it. You're going to put it up high, and you're going to forget about it until the next lab course comes, and you probably see my name on that course. Okay, and then ensure that all garbage is housed in a securely covered trash container that cannot be accessed by children or animals. Next page. Explore in case of an emergency. Here is the numbers that you're going to want. You're going to want to make sure before you contact Poison, you're reviewing first aid measures from their website. Most people know pretty much what you do in certain. Here is a web tool. It's going to take you over to the poison control, and it's going to ask you to, this is not a real case, thank you. Just making sure it's going to want to know where your location is. I'm just going to X out of that because they don't need to know. These are reasons why you would want to call. If you're pregnant, well, you're not younger than 6 months, otherwise you would not be in this class. And I'm not going to even stop to think that anyone's older than 79 or make any assumptions on that. If you're exposed to more than one product or substance, or you're struggling with self-harm, you're going to want to call these people. Or you can find out if you should talk to somebody. They don't mind you calling, and here's the number. Okay, and then you're going to call 911 immediately in the event of a seizure, collapse, breathing difficulty, or unconsciousness. The next tab is going to ask you to review your answers and test your knowledge again. Once you have done that, you come over here. Now, the only thing you have to do in experimentation is come to the last one. Although I would love you to try to do all of these. I mean, these are really good ones. It's going to just give you, oh, it's different. Oh, there's a data table. And what function, what's the substitution, spill containment, eye wash, goggles, what is a substitution, and so forth. You're going to go through all that, data table, answer the questions. Safety hazards. It has a nice little safety interactive, so it's going to give you 12 different items labeled. It's going, and you actually you do have to do this. Excuse me, otherwise I can't give you full credit. So you're going to click on the first one. It's going to say what is unsafe about this picture. You are going to say there's a bag on the floor. It's a tripping hazard. What is the correct lab safety procedure? All bags need to be put away. And you're going to go through each one of these. You're going to go to what is unsafe. His hair is not pulled up. He doesn't have a beard covering. And he's near an open flame. So there's multiple reasons. Number 3, where are you? Right here. There is a spill on the floor. It needs to be cleaned up. And then 4 is an open flame. 5, there's food. No, it's actually a drink there. Where are these numbers changed on me? 6, this is a fire hazard, and it has a spill around it. So we need to take care of the spill, and then we need to remove the fire hazard. 7, broken glass. 8, he's eating. He should not be eating in the lab. 9, it's unattended. There's nobody there. We need some. You always never leave a flame unattended or chemicals unattended because who knows what's going to happen. 10, there's an animal. As much as I love cats and dogs, we don't want them in the laboratory. 11, he is smelling incorrectly. 12. What is unsafe about this picture? Again, his beard and hair are not covered. He's not dangerously near the flame, but he should be covered appropriately. And so then you're going to go through this. And then wants you to identify 3 potential hazards in your work area. Now, they could be, and then describing how you're going to secure your work from your lab kit from children and pets. If you have children and pets or people who visit often, how are you going to keep them from being curious and getting into it? Once you do that, you're going to go on to the next one. And yeah, that data table is, like I said, what you're going to do. Here is the safety data sheet for this lab. And this is what you're going to do. The best way I can say to find anything that you need is going to Control F. It's going to bring up a box here. And I am just going to put in physical, because that's the first thing that the data table is going to ask you. What is the physical property of this? It is liquid, it is clearless, and it's odorless. And that is what you're going to do for each item here. If you notice, it said physical state. And you're going to enter it into this data table. This provides you an exercise to learn how to read a data sheet properly. When that is done, you're going to answer the questions. The 3 sources of SDS related to chemicals provided in Science Interactive. So you can go to the Science Interactive website and look for the SDS there. You can do a generalized Google search or Firefox search or whatever browser you're using. Hopefully not Microsoft Internet Explorer kind of deal, because that one's not going to work well with us. Or the other thing that they stated was you can ask your instructor. Okay, and that I'll accept that answer as well. And then how can you determine the proper disposal protocols for remaining chemicals in your kit at the direction of your instructor? And that is sufficient. All right. Then you have this. This is the most important part of this lab. It's going to provide you with a safety agreement and contract. And before beginning an experiment, I will first read all the directions and procedures and then assemble and organize the required equipment and supplies. I will select a work area that is inaccessible to children and pets while they are in progress. I will not leave them unattended, and I will not leave my work when the chemical, maybe it's the placebo tablets, maybe it's the liquid, maybe it's the syringes, unattended. If it's set up, ready to go, you should be there. To avoid potential accidents, I will clear my home laboratory workspace of any non-laboratory items before setting up and doing my experiments. I will never attempt an experiment until I fully understand it. If I am in doubt about any part of it, I will speak to my instructor before proceeding. I do not mind. I am here for your success. All you have to do is reach out. Now, what are the best ways to reach out to me is by either email or Canvas. But I also provided you with my personal cell phone. You can call me. I might not be able to answer right away due to whatever I might be involved with at that particular moment. Or you can text me. Just let me know who you are, what lab you're working on, and what the issue is. I will help you. I am willing to work outside of my office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays if those are not conducive to your working schedule. I do know some people don't get off until certain times. I have the flexibility. I do work from home. So, I can work with you. I will wear all safety equipment as instructed. Somebody have a question? Okay. I know that except for water, all solvents I am using are flammable and should never be used near an open flame. Yeah. I understand that adding water to acid can cause splattering. When preparing dilute acid solutions, I will follow the experimental procedures. We do not use acid, guys. I will wear safety gloves and goggles when handling any of the materials. I'm just going to say that. You're just going to follow the proper safety procedures that we went over. I know that many chemicals produce toxic fumes, and cautious procedures should be used when smelling any chemical. Do the wafting. You don't want to like directly put it underneath your nose. I will always handle glassware carefully and promptly replace any defective. Like I said, mortar and pestle are the only things that might be breakable. And we really don't use fire, so burns should not occur. Now, stating that sometimes even maybe a liquid might be sensitive to your skin and it might create a burning sensation. We want to make sure that, the first aid for burns is to immediately hold the burned area under the cold water for several minutes. I know that serious accidents can occur when incorrect chemicals are used in an experiment. I will always read labels. We will be doing, like I said, I will be doing a demonstration of the labs each week of the ones that we are going to be doing for that particular week's work. And we will go through all the course and experimentation, as in like if there's like any math or any other kind of data. Um, I will avoid the possibility of contamination and accidents by never returning any unused chemical to its original container. And to avoid waste, I will try to dispense only the approximate amount of chemicals required. I know to me to flush any chemical spill on the skin with cold water and consult a physician if required. To protect myself from potential hazards, I will wear long pants, long sleeve shirt, and closed-toed shoes when performing experiments, and I will tie up any or pin up any loose hair, clothing, or other materials. Like I said, if you're wearing shorts and you're sitting down doing the experiment, I'm not going to necessarily see that. I would like you to wear long sleeve shirt if possible. I mean, because the experiments themselves of where you're video recording yourself should not. I mean, it might take 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. I'll throw that out. Maybe 30 minutes. But at that point afterwards, you'll be able to change out of that shirt. Okay. I will never eat, drink, or smoke when performing these experiments. Please, if I don't want to see any food, drink. I actually had somebody in a live tutoring session with me having a cigarette. Yeah, okay. I don't want to see that. After completing all experiments, I will clean my work area. I will wash my hands, and I will store the lab equipment in a safe place that is inaccessible to children and pets after cleaning and drying them, of course. I will always consciously work in a reasonable and prudent manner to optimize my safety and the safety of others whenever and wherever I am involved with one of these experiments. And that goes with even in the pharmacy. And I acknowledge that any type of science experimentation that could involve potential hazards and unforeseen risks might exist. Then, I know this is a lot. It is impossible to control students' use of Science Interactive products related kit students' work environments. The authors of Science Interactive digital content the instructors and institutions that adopt it, and Science Interactive Group, the publisher and producer of Science Interactive, authorize the use of these educational products only on the express condition that the purchasers and users, which is the school and you, accept full and complete responsibility for all and any liability related to their use of the same. Please review this document several times until you are certain you understand and will fully abide by these terms. So, this is the first part of the safety contract. When you go to the data table, you are going to click in this box here, the first box. You're going to type in your initials. The second box is going to relate to part 2. It says, I am a responsible adult who has read, understands, and agrees to fully abide by all the safety precautions described in Science Interactive Labs for laboratory work and for the use of Science Interactive kits. Accordingly, I recognize the inherent hazards associated with science experimentation. I will always experiment in a safe and prudent manner, and I will unconditionally accept full and complete responsibility for any and all liability related to the kit or your purchase, right? And or use of the kit or any other science product or materials provided by Science Interactive Group. Again, in the data table, there's a second section. You're going to click into that box. You're going to put in your initials. Jasmine, what I need you to do, since this was not done, I'm going to ask you to send me an email and with your full agreement to this safety contract and the first part, safety agreement and contract, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. I saw that and I'm like going, oh my goodness gracious. So I'm going to, yeah, allow that. But everyone else, please make sure you at least get to that part and you put your initials in there that you agree to that. Because if you don't agree to that, yeah, it's not going to be a good grade. Because that is pretty much what we're looking for, but we do need the whole thing to be done. Once you have done this contract and agreement, you're going to hit next. It's going to take you to the evaluation. I do believe there's like 12 questions and then one free text question. So the first 12 questions are multiple choice. The last one, you're going to type in your answer. Any questions on how the cloud works? No one. Okay. So, like I said, this is going to be your the bookwork. Then you're going to, not these two labs, but the ones that do require video. You are going to take a video. You can then email it to yourself or email it to yourself and then upload it into the cloud, into the assignment, right? Box where you would put the link in. Once that link is there and this bookwork is completely done, and like I said, everything does need to be done, the questions, the pictures, if there's data tables, they do need to completely be filled out for you to get full credit. I cannot fully grade this assignment, the lab assignments, unless I have both portions. So let's say you do the bookwork completely, but you don't give me the lab video. I can't grade. And let's say you give me the lab video, but there's a lot of things missing out of the assignment. I am going to have some issues. But I might be able to go in and grade. But we still want to make sure that all of that is done so you get the best grade and you have the success as a pharmacy technician.
And I know.
Go ahead.
What video was you talking about on this one? I got confused there.
Okay, so what's going to happen is when you get into one of these experiments, okay, I'm just going to choose maybe this one. Let's say I had to do a video on safety data sheets. I'm going to Probably use my phone to take that video, right? Or a tablet. Some people have tablets also. Because you're able to take a video. You're going to save that video. You're going to upload it to a YouTube channel. Or if you're able to actually just create the video. I don't know if you can do that. I know at one time I was able to do that. It would just go to, I need to be able to see your face and you going through everything. You're going to create a Gmail account because you have to have a Gmail account to have a YouTube account. Okay. Let me see. Do I have my YouTube account still open here? No, I don't think so. Hold on a second here. I have a YouTube account that's associated just with the university. Once this meeting is ended, I'm going to upload the recording of this and video of this to this channel. So you'll be able to access it. But you're going to have your own where you're going to like upload your video of you doing the lab if it's required. A lab video recording. So that I'm able to, you're going to provide me that link. Because once you upload, you get a link. Okay. That's how you got to see my welcome video if you watched it. Because I provided you with the link. I did not put it into this channel because it was just a little bit of a 1 minute, 2 minute thing. I will grade it then. And I'm going to go in. Let me see here. Let me
I got a question. I
Yep.
get mine.
Go ahead.
Hold
Yep.
on.
Okay.
So for my job, can I get the PPE and use that too?
There is PPE in that lab kit.
No, I'm just asking for this safety side because I have a 3-year-old that go through stuff and tear stuff up. I can also get some action. Can I bring some from the house?
Oh yeah, yeah.
My job.
Okay, so Heather, I'm gonna actually recommend this really highly to you. Make sure you put your kit up high.
No, my kid is up high. I'm just saying,
Yeah. No, I
so
know.
I'm gonna bring extra stuff to the house. That's all.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah,
With
please.
the mask and gloves, the goggles, I can bring extra stuff to the house.
Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
Okay, yeah, because I got a 3-year-old that's very.
I
He
just
can crawl. He can do everything.
listen. I just don't want you to I'm going to show you guys really quick here. I'm trying to get out of the grade book so you can't see a whole lot. I don't want you going out necessarily to the store and buying something. If you're
I get it from my job. I work at the nursing home. I'm cool with that.
Okay. Okay.
So, get extra stuff.
Yep. So if you see here in the grade book, I have something that's called speed grader, so I can go through everybody here. This is the lab, and if you were to have done it, which only one person has, and I'm looking for her name right there. You're gonna get, it's gonna say complete, okay? And I'm probably gonna make a comment on a great job, or if there's any other feedback. Let's say it was a lab that required a video, and she provided me with the video, and she provided me with the book work. I am then going to make a comment on that and give feedback. I'm going to say, you did a really great job. But if there's some kind of concern, I'm going to say, this or that. Or I'm going to say, you hit it out of the ballpark. I'm going to provide some kind of constructive feedback. Because I want you to learn. I want you to have fun. I am here as your guide and your instructor. I'm going to be interacting with you guys in the discussions. I'm going to be interacting with you guys every week in this class session. And I want you to ask questions. Stop me. I have a tendency to rattle. If I'm going too fast, tell me to slow down. Shush, shush. I have no problem with that.
Oh, I have
But
no problem with that. So, where I work at, my RNs help me out a lot. So I'm sure.
okay. I want you to ask questions. I want you to learn. I want you to grow. I want you to finish this course saying, I had the best experience possible. I learned so much.
That's
I
no
would
problem.
okay, and I would recommend this course to my neighbor down the street, because I want you to be successful. I want to walk into a pharmacy and see your name tag and go, "Hey, I remember her. She did really great."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't want to walk into a pharmacy and see somebody's name and go, "Oh my gosh, I'm leaving."
Something
And
happened.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
I think you're gonna be. We got this.
you got it. You do. And I am so proud of you guys all. You have been on the ball. You've jumped in, you did your introductions, and I just want to remind you that you are required to respond to at least one other student. This week is really laid back, because it's just introductions, but next week starting there'll be a
And
a
we gonna take care of everything.
yeah, there's going to be a discussion. And you're going to be needing to do some research. And remember APA citations, and I will provide you guys with examples on that. I think I did a little bit already. Um, but I also have an email that, oh, did I close my email? I did close my email. Why did I close my email? I have an email that I started.
My RNs are already on top of it
Ah.
for me. They helping me out a lot.
Yeah, there's a good website too. I think I shared it in one of the announcements, but let's see here. It would be under drafts, yeah. I'm going to be sending this out in a class announcement. It's going to provide you with a link to the inventory list for that interactive kit. Anything that is missing, I want you to make note of it and let me know.
Okay.
If it's broken, let me know, and we will try to get a replacement. It's gonna have my YouTube channel for the recordings for me doing the labs with you guys during live classes.
Okay. Now
And go ahead.
one more thing. So do we have to do it on the YouTube? You can't just record a video of you doing the lab and uploading it?
You have to be doing the video of yourself.
Okay. But
Okay.
then you have to send it, you have to do it to the YouTube. Is that what you're saying? Or can we just upload it another way? Or
Yeah, if it has the video on it. I mean, I'm not quite sure. Some some of them will actually have the video and the recording, and some of them just it's like a recording. I just want to make sure that you realize I have to see your pretty face doing the lab and go through the steps.
gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. We got this.
Yeah, you got it. And like I said, if to do that, you would need a Gmail account for the YouTube. We use YouTube because it's easier. Everybody knows YouTube. All right. And then I just also have a reminder about that here. So I will get this posted in the classroom. This video in of this class will be uploaded on my YouTube channel, which is obviously in this message as well. Any questions, concerns?
If you can just email me everything, cause I have to go. I'm about to get ready to go to work tonight.
Yeah, it's going in.
Okay.
And do you get the announcements via email?
Okay. And
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
take care of everything for you. Don't worry
Yeah.
about that. My son to help me out with the YouTube stuff, cause I don't do YouTube.
Yeah.
Everything else, I got you for it.
Okay. So it's like I said, it's being posted right now in the class as the announcement. It typically I know that as you can see it's right there. It typically goes to your email if you have those notifications set up.
And this is by what day?
All coursework except for the discussion. Okay, your initial discussion is due on Wednesday by 11:59 p.m.
Oh, I got you. I have everything
Eastern
done for you.
Standard Time. And your everything else is due by Saturday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're in Central, that would be 10:59 your time.
What are you in here doing, man? Where's your brother at? Why is he naked? Oh my God.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions? Are we good? I am here. Making sure nobody else snuck in on me. You guys. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Like I said,
I got you.
okay. Yeah, like I said, I will be communicative. You can email me, canvas message me, text me, call me. I will respond. I do grade throughout the whole week as well. So you'll see your grades update relatively, you know, quick. Because I don't believe in letting you wander off in the wind. All right.
All right, you have a good night, babe.
Yep, you too. Anyone else have any questions or concerns? I will definitely be here for just a few more moments. If not, you have a great night.
Oh, for me, I'm sorry for coming in late. I had to download it. That's all.
Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it. You're good.
Okay. We get started.
And you're free to go if you have no questions.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Yes, ma'am. Oh my God, I'm about to do this. What did he have to? I can't get this off the floor.